G'day, Florian here, and I'm starting a new series where I want to discuss stupid things that don't make any sense to me. Now, here I'm at The Sun, a very reputable newspaper from the UK, and for those of you that aren't aware, UK is about to have a general election. You've got the Conservative Party, the Tories, you've got the Labour Party on the left. Now, the Labour have this gentleman here, Jeremy Corbyn, as their leader. Now, he is a Trotskyite. He's a communist sympathizer. He's a real character. And if you look here what they're proposing to do, which is just insane, Labour's planning a new green tax, which would see council tax treble. So they're going to triple the tax that you have to pay for your house. So let's have a look here. Jeremy Corbyn is planning a devastating new garden tax that could triple council tax bills, it was claimed last night. The small print of Labour's manifesto reveals a proposal to replace council tax with a new land value tax to raise billions for a spending splurge. Interesting. And senior Tories last night said a Labour blueprint for the tax from 2015 reveals Mr Corbyn could slap a levy of 3% on the value of a homeowner's land, including the back garden. So this is a blueprint from 2015, but perhaps they're laying the groundwork for what they want to do and taxing your backyard. So a levy would raise an average of £3,837 across England. A 224% increase. So if you're going from about £1,200 to £3,800 on council tax based on your property. I mean, we've got to pay rates here in Australia, but that's just insane. I don't know what it's like. This would increase, all families. Everyone who has a house would cop this, for the many, not the few. I love that. Yeah, yep. You're going to tax the many, not the few. Brilliant. Yep, share the burden. Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson stormed, Jeremy Corbyn needs to hit ordinary working families with a bombshell of new taxes to pay for his reckless hard left giveaways. And this lays bare the price we would all pay. Okay, so obviously they're putting spin on maybe a policy paper or something that was developed. Garden tax will send bills soaring, house prices plummeting, plunge people into negative equity, and force families to build over their backyards. You've got to love the persuasion that they're using here. The imagery of people building over their backyards and of people being, it works right in the mind. You can see, poor granny or family building over the yard to avoid this evil garden tax. Claiming the radical land value tax will raise funds we need by taking money from those who have profited the most out of the boom years. Wow. Work the campaign had done on making the case for the land valuation tax. So this does not seem like a very smart move. I wonder if it's actually happening or if it's just something they flooded and the Tories are obviously taking advantage of a leak. I find with all this political stuff, it's all just emotion. You want to try and persuade the opposition side or agitate the people to get them on your camp to flip them over. The Labour's manifesto commits the party to review into reforming council tax and business rates and considering new opportunities such as a land value tax. So they're thinking about it. They're looking at ways to essentially pull more money away from people, justify stealing cash from people so they can pay for all the promises they have. I mean, it's the same story, one side of the fence or the other. You need to get the money from somewhere, and they need to be inventive and create creative ways to pull the money away from people. But as a border-wide Gen X myself, and here in Australia, houses are just insane. The house price is just insane, and anything like this is just going to make it harder for young people to get in homes. And I can't imagine it's much better over in the UK. I'm hoping it's easier for them over there. In Sydney, you get average house is $1 million Australian, and that's a lot of money. When I think what the average wage is. So this is interesting. I'm thinking it's probably a bit of spin. Maybe some nut jobs were doing some research to try and develop an idea. We'll see where. Oh, here we go. The blueprint was drawn up 2 years ago by an organisation called Labour Land Campaign. Let's look them up. Let's look them up and see what their deal is. Land value tax shifts. Movement social. Oh, here we go. Socialists. Labour Land Campaign. Our mission, the Labour Land Campaign, advocates a more equitable distribution of the land values that are created by the whole community. We are a voluntary group working for land reform within the Labour movement. So they're a subset of the Labour movement. Our members are members of the British Labour Party, trade unions and cooperatives, or individuals who support our aim to share land wealth through land value taxation. So they want to try, it looks like they want to redistribute the value of land, or the wealth of the land. Why Britain needs a land tax, wow. Yeah, it's an interesting group. About Us, let's go to About Us. What are they saying? The history, let's see where they started. 1983 by a group of people concerned with the future of the planet. Oh, so they're concerned with the future of the planet. They brought together a mixture of skills: architecture, land economists, farming, trade unionists, of course, academics, researchers, smallholders, town planning, and protesters. Beautiful. Governments, another, yeah. So it's a lobby group. It's a lobby group. What else do they have? Okay, so, oh, look, sharing is caring. And of course, lobby group, political party, they've always got a donate button on here. We can become a member. Okay, so, I mean, interesting. Another way to tax that, to redistribute wealth. Personally, I think anything that stops people from getting a foothold into housing or to land is just insane. Garden tax, very smart persuasion. They're creating a mental image very well to attack Corbyn and his party. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. I mean, UK is a very interesting election at the moment, what's going on over there. It's quite entertaining. Some of the footage from these guys is just insane. And what the Tories are trying to get through, I might talk about that a bit later, is just, I think they're pushing for it. They've got such a incredible lead that's just, they've lost a lot of it because of what they're trying to push. Here, wait, let's look at the comments. This will be good. It's come from somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Corby's numbers will never add up. Well, he doesn't need to. He's never going to get in. Just relabel your garden as an allotment. That's smart. The panic has set in amongst the flaky Tory voters. You think, explain. Simply digging deeper into the Labour small print. Yep. As a business owner, I'm generally worried for my business and my staff. Labour are doing nothing to protect me and my business, just taxing more business owners. I hope you people know what you're doing when you vote Labour and lose your jobs. Corbyn is going to put a lot of people out of work. Well, no, he'll just create government jobs for them. They'll all get the dole or whatever it's over there. I mean, a lot of people don't realise that when they think business, they think big, huge corporations. They don't think the challenges of small business. And it can be bloody tough. It really can be, from personal experience. Just the amount of red tape, the green tape, the legislation, workplace relations, all this stuff that you need to go through is just inhibiting. In Australia, we've got, here, I'll show you this thing, it's called payroll tax. And it is, hang on, I'm adjusting that. It is just insane. Here we go. Payroll tax is a self-assessed general-purpose state and territory tax assessed on wages paid or payable by an employer to its employees when the total wage bill of an employer or group of employers exceeds a threshold amount. So, essentially, when you have a certain number of employees, when you're paying a certain amount of tax, or sorry, a certain amount of wages, then they'll tax you on it. So if you're hiring people, creating jobs, then you're taxed on that. I don't understand the point of this. Historically, I think this was another temporary tax that was set up for particular purposes that they'd never give up. Every time they create a tax, even income tax, every time they create a tax, it never disappears. They hold on to it because, you know, the politicians get their money. They can use it then to increase their perceived value and provide things to people to get voted again. Maybe I'm just being a bloody cynic, but I do not understand why we want to punish people for creating jobs. It just doesn't make sense. So, I mean, coming back to this article here, I get the feeling that they're kind of going in the fine print of the manifesto. Personally, I think, let's have a look at, hang on, let's look up the UK election polls right now. General election latest polls, odd tracker. Oh, maybe we can bet. That'd be a good idea. Here we go. Okay. So Conservatives are at 44, and they've gone from 40%, 47 in May, now 44. Labor's 35, they were down at 25. Bloody hell. Bloody hell, that's just nuts. There's still a 10-point difference between them. That's insane. LD are at 7.9, UKIP at 4.5. So you can see, you know, Labor's tracking up, Conservatives are going slightly down, and these guys are going down a little bit, but that is an insane gap, you know. So it's going to be interesting. I'll be following this one because it'll be entertaining, particularly with Brexit, because, you know, they've Tories have pretty much, well, Theresa May has pretty much backed Brexit, you know, hard Brexit, going for boom, boom, boom. This guy, Corbyn, he can't even give an answer if he's going to protect his country. You listen to him. He's an interesting character. Oh, guys, that was an interesting article, and we'll see where this goes. We'll see if they'll tax people's gardens. It's just entertaining at this point, you know. Thank you very much. Good night.